as we saw those cloudy conditions push in, we definitely saw a little bit of light rain, and I thought it was me, but believe it or not, those cloud ceilings getting lower and lower as you continue to watch this time lapse. Now, getting so far down there that some areas starting to see mistier conditions, if not lighter rain across the entire region, really kind of depending on where you are geographically across the region and in elevation. Right now, we're watching those temperature changes with those cloudier conditions pushing in. 44 last night around this time, up to the 60s today. That's about 20 degrees. Now, we're still holding on to some of those warmer temperatures, 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. Now, tomorrow, looking at an even warmer day as we wrap up November and a pretty warm start to December as well in those 70s. Right now, we're looking at temperatures across the entire Concho Valley. Everybody hanging out in those 50s, 54 here in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in 54 and those 50s, seeing those cooler conditions really off to the west. A lot of those colder conditions with that front pushing in, but it's going to clear up. Now, we're not really seeing a big difference in those cool downs, those 40s off there to the west, but off to the east, hanging on to some of those lower 50s. And that's what we're going to see as we continue to watch this cloud cover really push in from the south. Now, we're going to see those windier conditions build, and those winds are going to push those clouds out of the region, and that's really going to warm things up. Believe it or not, the upper level pattern getting pretty interesting. Seeing a lot of those cooler temperatures up to the north. They're dealing with a lot of snow, and it's going to keep going that way as we see more of this moisture really make its way up across the Ohio River into the Mississippi River Valley. Look how much is going to make its way up there. In fact, areas like Houston and Dallas, East Texas, really under a lot of severe weather watches for tomorrow, including seeing a lot of that flooding conditions for a lot of Louisiana. Again, it's going to be a pretty difficult time for them, but here in the Concho Valley, only going to be dealing with some dry conditions, if not just clear weather for the rest of the time. Again, the upper level pattern showing you how some of this troughing really going to push off. You're going to see the upper level jet stream come together, and that's where it's going to pull all that moisture. That's why we're seeing a lot of that quick cloud cover push in. But this low pressure, this frontal system is going to be pretty quick, and then right behind it, seeing a lot of that drier air, but not really that colder air. So again, we're seeing those upper level clouds really reach down into those lower levels. Then we're eyeing this storm making its way over the Rocky Mountains to see if any of that moisture is going to make its way down, but it's not really looking like it. Just a lot of those windier conditions, again, seeing those clear skies. But these clouds themselves right now really kind of going to lower down. Again, we're going to see them as they push out. Still seeing a good opportunity for some light rain carrying in by tomorrow, but then by midday, we really see those winds pick up out of the south. Again, 15 to 20 miles per hour pushes in and turns out of the west, clears things up. A few clouds there for Friday, but then again, just nice and clear weather. This storm really going to pull off to the east. As you see, everywhere but Texas really going to be covered in clouds. And then again, we're seeing some of that cooler air really make its way down the Edwards Plateau, but nothing but clear skies, and that's really going to keep us in those 70s well into the weekend and beginning that second week, if not that first week of December. So again, tonight, dropping down into those 40s, still seeing an opportunity for some light rain carrying all the way in into tomorrow. Those cloudy conditions to start your day off, but as soon as the midday rolls around, we're going to see those clouds push off and push us easily into those 70s with those winds really picking up out of the west about 20 miles per hour. And that's going to pretty much wrap up November as we start to see those temperatures really hang out in those 70s with those sunnier conditions. Now, that cold front's really going to push through, but it's only going to drop us a couple degrees while those lows are still hanging out in those 40s. But everything gently trends down into those mid 60s while those lows are just hanging out in those 40s. Stay tuned. We'll have more up to the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.